to it. So pretty much what I'm going to talk about was my experience at the Revolt Summit. I got my phone right here. I pulled up the schedule because they have this dope app that they give you where you can like pull up the schedule, because I'm one of those people. I'm like a storyteller, and I'll sit up here and just like get off track with it. And I've already tried to do this 85 times. So I decided that it's better for me to use the actual Summit app to talk about this, because it's literally, it has all the dates right here, and it just has all the times, and it lets you know everything. You click on this, and I mean, this thing just like tells you everything that's going on, like even little like bios about the people speaking, like links to their Instagram, blase, blase, blase. So I was like, so I'm gonna use that. Okay. So I'll start off with buying my ticket. So when I bought my ticket, I actually bought my ticket the day before. I was like trying to get like people to go with me, blah 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 blah, and it just didn't happen. So I ended up getting the $99 ticket, and now the tickets were $250, and so I mean I was like, but they just kept like, if you understand, they just were giving people opportunities just to go. So I ended up typing in love. Like I got a ticket for $99, and I got the regular standard black wristband. This is the GA wristband, okay? Like this is not a VIP wristband, and this is going to be important that you remember this for this recap, all right? Not the VIP wristband. So when I got to the parking lot, and I checked in, picked up my pass, and we're standing in a line. At first, that if you've ever been to a music concert, like you stand in line, you're all there to see the same artist, but nobody's like talking to each other, And you might talk to some of the people, but you're not really talking to anybody. But so when I get on the bus, I just immediately asked the person who was next to me. I was like, "Hey, what's your name? What do you do?" And the guy's like, "Oh, I actually have a podcast." And I'm like, "Huh?" And I'm just like, and it suddenly clicked to me. I am surrounded by on this bus. I'm surrounded by 50 people, at least 50 or 60 people, who are all working in the industry or trying to. I met an artist. I met somebody who's where I'm talking about a musician, actual artist, a graphic designer, fellow filmmakers, and I'm just like, you get on this bus, I'm like, wow, like, okay, everybody, as soon as like, I think I asked that question, everybody started like talking, because I kind of talk loud, so everybody started talking around me, and I was just like, okay. When we got off the bus, I mean, the energy when we got off the bus was we were all like, it felt like you were on like a school field trip, like with your classmates, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we were all going on a field trip. So we showed up, we checked in and everything. And the first event was stay ready so you don't have to get ready. The art of preparation. And it said fashion is a huge part of hip hop. And we're out in these streets. You best be dripping, because I don't know who wrote that. Maybe they got to work on that. But it was a bunch of current industry stylists, and the one that I had my eye on was Bobby Wesley, because Bobby Wesley is future stylist, and he's done and I'm from what I understand, he's Young Thug stylist now too. So I wanted to know, how do you even gain clients? How do you even become future stylists? And that was my only question. So they talked on the panel. They were answering questions with the moderators and whatnot, and then next after the panel ended, I thought they took some questions from the crowd, and I was like, okay, that's gonna be it. They actually walked off the stage into the crowd and started answering people's questions, and people lined up to ask questions. I got a chance to talk with him, and he gave me some advice on just how to gain clients. Design and fashion may not be my lane, which I'll get to that in maybe the second video, which I'll get to that. But I still wanted to know, how can I gain clientele? That was my question on the business side. And he answered it, and he talked with me, and he gave me advice. He said, you got any more questions, DM me. And when I get some time, I'll answer these questions. And I was just like, you're just like, man, like, where I literally just paid $99 for, a person that I follow him on Instagram. And, it's just like sometimes you want to ask these questions because you're trying to get a start. And I'm like, $99 with this. I literally just asked these 4 top designers in the room questions and literally just learned something. Now, mind you, that's just the first session. So imagine what's going to happen. I'm like, imagine what's going to happen over the next few days. So the session goes on, and then all of a sudden, boom, Diddy shows up out of nowhere, and everybody freaks out. So Diddy comes through, and he's like, because he's arrived, and he's on his way to the Swiss Beats and the Timberland session. And next thing you know, I'm like, all right, if I see Diddy, I had already planned. I knew he was going to show up, but I said, if I see him, the first thing I'm going to say is, because we all know, we've all watched Making the Band. I'm like, man, you gotta. That's just me. I'm an entrepreneur by heart. I got passion in my heart. I got hustle. Like I said, I'll get to that in the second video. But right now, I'm gonna keep going. So I said, first thing I see when I see Diddy, I'm going to say, who can I get my resume to? So Diddy walks by, and that's exactly what I said. I said, Diddy. He stopped, he looks, he says, I said, who can I get my resume to? And now, mind you, we're still walking. And he's like, a guy in the back, Dion, says, you can give it to me. And I'm like, now I'm on spot, right? I'm on spot, and I'm like, okay, I have my resume digitally. And I was like, can I? And I'm like, can I email it to you? He's like, you didn't bring a paper copy? And I'm like, no. And then he's like, you got to come prepared, man. And I'm like, okay, you're right. And so they keep walking, and I'm just like, now my next mission is I'm running around the summit trying to find a printer. And so I ended up, I'm literally going to like all these like cool stands. They had office pods set up. They had a AT&T stand set up. They had water stations. They had beverages stand set up. So I'm literally running through all these little tents, and I stop at the square tent, right? So not only did they have a printer, but the only thing was that they were like, you have to find some paper. But in the meantime, I stopped at the square station, and I ended up speaking with them because I have a screen printing company, and I have an apparel company called Beards and Makeup for Men. And so it's an e-commerce site, and we do all our sales sometimes through the internet. We have a website where people have to buy clothes. So when I stopped at the Square, they started talking to me about all the services that they offered and everything. And like by the end of it, I signed up. It was free to sign up and everything. And they even gave me, like, after I signed up, they gave me a Square, like one of the Square devices that you can use, like once you get your business up running. This thing is like worth $50, and I got it for free. And then I also got like this cool like bag that like they gave out, and they had like other prizes too. So, and I don't even know where the t-shirt is, but I got even a free t-shirt. Like they even made me a t-shirt on site. And they were like, hey, we'll print out your resume. Like they were willing to do that. So shout out to Square. So then what's my next mission? Going to find the white paper. So I'm literally running around here looking for people with a lanyard on. I ended up missing a couple of the sessions. I ended up missing the Swiss Beats sessions. And I was like, but it's okay because I'll make it up. I'll make it up because I did want to go to the Be Heard auditions. So then next thing you know, but I was like, I got to get this resume because next time I see Diddy's camp, I'm gonna give that guy my resume. That's my goal. Like, I'm here to get a job. Not, I was there for the summit, and I was there for the summit, but I'm there to get a job at the same time. So then, next thing you know, I'm like chasing down people who are like on the summit staff. I'm like, you got some paper? One guy told me he would go check. Another girl told me that she would go check, but they never came back. So I eventually I saw where they were like kind of coming out of, and like I go stand outside of the gate, and I literally just stand there and I ask every single person to walk out. And eventually this guy in a suit with like a little walkie-talkie comes up, and he's like, what are you trying to do? And I'm like, Sir, I asked Diddy who can I give my resume to, and one of I'm assuming one of the managers said give it to me. I didn't have a copy, and so I'm just trying to get some paper so I can get this printed out. The people at Square are willing to print my resume. That's it. He was like, email it to me. Here's my email. Email it to me. I'll make sure you get it. His name was Mr. Rodney. Thank you, Mr. Rodney, for doing that for me. I appreciate it. And so I emailed to him. The girl at the security gate gave me a high five because we were both excited. So I was like, all right, now I couldn't be satisfied with that though. Even though that happened, I couldn't be satisfied with that. So I'm bringing back up the schedule right now. So Hit Factory was going on. And then I said, okay, I'll go to check out the monetizing the social media because I had the opportunity to work with B. Simone and on another project when she did a thing for Zeus TV network. And my friend just happened to call me and ask me to come do videography for his knocker ball business out of Augusta, Georgia. And so I got the opportunity to go film them and film her and film him. And like I say, so when I got to the thing, I was like, I'm going to try and bring that back up to make a little connection to try and, ping off that. Because I'm like, I'm here to try and get my stuff out there. And everything is about making relationships and making connections, right? So when I walked into the thing, the whole thing was packed out. But there's like a seat sitting in the front. So I walk up and I'm like, I said, somebody sitting here? He was like, no. So I sit down and boom, I got a front row seat right in front of the panel, right? So the panel's going on and and then Shiggy's up there. Shout out to my boy Shiggy. Shiggy's up there. Some B. Simone's up there. And they're just pretty much, and they have two other panelists and they're just discussing, how to build your social media, how to do it, what it takes. And if you go to my Instagram, I feel like I have really quality posts on my Instagram. And if you look through my followers, I have very quality followers. But, I only have 1,500 followers. I'm not Instagram famous, and that's my question. How do you deal with oversaturation? So, I got in line when they had a panel and then boom, I'm sitting in line, Diddy and Timbaland walk right in, sit right in the front. And it's just like, I'm just like, okay, I'm sitting front row with everybody else. I'm there. So when it got to the girl in front of me, they were like, this will be the last question. I was like, wow. So I returned to my seat and I sit down and then they answer the girl's question. And then they're like, we can do one more question. So I was like, well, we're going to do my question. If we're going to do one more question, right? So I stand up, I got no mic, I stand up, and like I said, my voice is loud enough to project. So I stand up and I asked my question, and they were like, we already answered that. And I was like, I got here late. And I was like, so then they like I said, they answered the question and everything, and I was just like, oh, there we go. That's strike number 2 in front of Diddy, right? So I'm sitting there, I'm like, the question's being answered. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to make my way. At the end of the panel, they didn't come this time, they didn't come out off the stage. So I was like, and then I did bring up the fact that I did work with B. Simone, like right in front of everybody. I brought that up while everybody was still asking the question and like on stage. Like I was like, because I wanted to make my presence known. And I was like, I'm gonna remind. I'm like, even if I don't get a chance, I literally reminded her. I was like, remember, and I'm like, I'm hoping that Revolt like lets that footage come out because I want people to see that. Like I want people to see that. And so I'm gonna get on with it. And so then they sung it. I wrote it. Now, mind you, I'm from Augusta, Georgia. I come to Atlanta. I have no connections at all. Everything I've worked for has been ground up. And so when I came to this summit, coming to the Revolt Summit was my one and only opportunity to finally just get my name out there and just let people in the industry know and let people know that I'm here and that I'm I'm talented, right? So they sung it, I wrote it, and I have no connects, but I had one ace up my sleeve. So my friend, they had Brian Michael Cox was on the panel. He's on the panelist. So I had my friend Trey. Trey's done work for Brian before. And so I was like, I texted Trey. I was like, hey, Trey, Brian Michael Cox is on the panel. Are you coming? Because I would have assumed that he would have showed up. And he was like, no, I haven't heard about it. So I gave him a quick phone call while I was at the summit. It was like, yo, blah, blah, blah. This is what it's about, bro. This is a great opportunity. You should come. Like, reach out to Brian. I am more than sure that he will get you into this summit, right? So Trey reaches out to Brian, and Brian tells him to come, right? So my friend Trey says he would. So my friend Trey texted me and tells me that, right? I maybe wait like an hour or two, and my friend's still like, look, man, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm like, well, there goes my one shot into upgrading my experience directly into VIP. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do? So I'm like, okay. So they come up the stage and they answer a bunch of people's questions. Now, mind you, now people there wasn't just an individual that was smart like me. Everybody's like, I'm about to get up here and ask these questions. So, you know, after they asked them the 10 questions, they would go back into the VIP area to answer media questions and that. So I was like, I got to get back there and ask questions like I'm media. So everybody goes back into the VIP lounge. And at this point of the story, I'm just going to let you guys know, this is where hustle, Brandon, comes out to play. And I'm just going to, and this is just the straight truth. Like, this is the straight truth. Everything I tell you is 100%. So I come out and I see Brian Michael Cox, I see the Dream, I see the entourage, and I see them like walk in, and I see like, you know, their entourage, little photographers and videographers, blah, blah, blah. They're like kind of like walking. They all go back into the VIP lounge. I'm sitting there and I'm like, how am I going to get into this VIP lounge with with the wrong wristband on, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. So I was like, I could do it the wrong way and just sneak in and try to like be sneaky about it and like just try to like follow in, because I was able to bring my camera. I was able to bring my camera with me, but I was like, I never thought like, so they had this rule where you can't bring point and shoot camera. So I did break a rule, and I did like, I broke my camera into pieces. My camera is like very easy to like put apart. So I put my camera apart and I put it in my small bag that they allow you to bring. And, you know, I have my camera. So when I got to the summit, I just put my camera back on. And I mean, you know, like I have my whole camera right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I had it just around my thing like this. Like I was wearing my camera like this. So then I sit there and I go there, and then the girls, they all go in there, and I'm just like, I could sink in, but I just stopped. And I was like, and I kind of just like gave up. But then I was like, okay, you know what? I had to realize what I was here for. And like I said, I had a goal coming to this summit. So I was like, I need to get back there. I need to do this. So then the young lady that was sitting right there, she was the girl who was checking the wristbands, letting people back. She said, I was like, can I go back there? She was like, do you have the wristbands? And I was like, no, I don't. And she was like, then you can't go back there. And then, so I was like, but I really need to get back there I told her, I was like, I'm just trying to get a job. I need to get my resume out. I need to do something. Like, she was just like, she's like, what are you going to do? I was like, I'm just going to wait. I don't know. I was like, I don't know, wait. I'm going to do what I do best and just talk to people and see if I talk to the right person and make that connection. I'm literally here. She was like, she looked at me, and then I just did this. Like, I literally just threw my hands up, like the emoji. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. That's it. And then she was just like, all right, going back. And then I was like, but she grabbed me. She was like, but don't do anything crazy. I'm not gonna say her name, but you know who you are. Thank you so much, because I guess she just, whatever she saw or whatever she saw in me, she just believed it, and I really do appreciate that. And so I went back there, and they were doing the interviews, and I'm like, yes, this is my chance. I can get back there. So, but I was like, so my friend sees Brian McCox. So I texted my friend Trey again, and I was like, hey, I was like, Trey, look, I made it in the VIP, man. I was like, and now I was trying to get that, just get that connection. I was like, hey, I was like, I was like, clearly Trey was already in communications with Brian. I was like, tell Brian, I'm here. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? So when I go over there, it won't be awkward. I'm introduced, do it. Trey never texted me back. So then I was like, you know what? You got to risk it for the biscuit, baby, sometimes. So Brian Michael Cox starts walking towards me, and like in my line of fire, and he's just like, and then so I say, hey, I was like, what's going on? I was like, hey, Brian, I was like, hey, what's going on, Brian? And he's like, what's going on, man? How you doing? I was like, my name's Brendan. Nice to meet you. I was like, I said, my friend Trey works for you. He's like, yeah, where is he? And I'm like, I don't know. I texted him. I told him I thought he was coming. He was like, yeah, well, I texted him and told him to pull up. I don't know where he is. And I'm like, now in my head, I already knew Trey wasn't going to make it. But I was like, I'm not saying nothing. But as me and Brian Michael Cox, I'm standing there talking with Brian Michael Cox. We're talking. One of Brian Michael Cox's friends that he like came with said, hey, he was like, hey, Brian, him and Sean Garrett were saying, come over here. We need you to take this picture. And then he points to me. He's like, yo, you take pictures, right? And I'm like, I'm sitting there with my camera. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, yo, take this photo, right? So I go over there, I'm like snapping, I'm like taking pictures of all of them and stuff like that, doing the photo stuff. He's like, how can I get these photos from you? I'm like, well, everything that I shoot today, I'm probably just gonna upload it. You know, I'm just gonna upload it later on when I get home after the summit ends tonight. And I can just I can just send them to you. Or I was like, I can just send them or text them to you, however you want. He was like, just text them to my phone. Here, get my phone number. So he gives me his number, and I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm cooking with something. Like I'm cooking with something. So they ended up leaving the lounge, and I was like, I said, I told you I was going to tell you guys the truth. I had a choice. I said, I can either stay in this lounge and wait all day for these celebrities and their managers and their people and their team to come back, because my goal was, I'm like, I need to build relationships, because I have so many different services that I can offer to someone. I need to be able to make that connect, because you could go and do a pitch. You could ask for a picture, or you could pitch. And in that 1 or 2 minutes that this person is stopping to give me the time of their busy schedule to talk to me, I'm not gonna ask for a picture. I'm gonna do a pitch. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm gonna say, my name is Brendan Williams, blah, 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 blah. Nice to meet you. Hey, I do this. This is what I can do for you if you're interested. And we go on from there. So I had the choice. Either I was going to stay in VIP or all day and, on a wing and prayer, hope that I could just catch all that. But I'm like, that means I have to give up attending the rest of the event. So I was like, but you know what? Hey, sometimes, like I said, you got risk for a biscuit. I was like, if I made it in here one time, I'll make it back. So I left over there. I literally go over to the the other summit, right? They're having the conversation with Jeezy. I'm like, okay, I see Brian Michael Cox and his whole entourage go straight to the VIP lounge, right? And when they get back there, I'm like, they get back there. I try to walk. I tried to finesse my way into the back again, because I just tried to. And they were like, nah, man, you can't come back. He was like, if you're with somebody, he's like, they have to come get you from the back, but you don't have the right wristband. So he was like, you can't come back. So I was like, I'm sitting out there, beard strokes. And I'm like, all right. I got to get back there. So what do? I texted the guy who just gave me his phone number and I said, I'm stuck at the front. He says, who is this? He says, who is this? I'm like, it's Brandon, Trey's friend who works for Brian. You know, I just took your photos. He doesn't text me back, right? Man, maybe like 10 minutes later, I'm just sitting there listening to the panel. Dude comes out and literally like, hey, yeah, he's with us. He's a photographer. He's good. He's media. They instantly let me back there, right? So I'm sitting back there, and then he's like, the guy, he's just like, man, sometimes you just gotta finesse it. Like, that's what he told me. He's like, sometimes you gotta, and I was like, either A, he knew that I was trying to finesse, or B, he just, or you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But like I said, everybody was on the same brainwave. So when I got back there, oh man, I was like, oh, I'm in heaven. All the people on the office hours on this panel and stuff are back here. Their managers are back here. I'm like, everybody in VIP, these are the people that are that I can give these pitches directly to. I don't have to wait. I can directly connect with these people and see if I got what it takes. And I was killing it back there. Killing it. Killing. I was getting contact after contact after contact. And it was just like so much interest. So I'm like, look, give me 30 days to restructure all this stuff because I got to figure out the direct focus, right? So I'm back there, and now mind you, the 85 South show at this point comes on. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right. I'm sitting there, and I'm like watching the 85 South show, and they started like letting people come up on stage just to do stuff, or like to promote their self or promote their brand, right? So I'm sitting there talking to this girl named Paige. And it turned out, she turned out to host the next 2 days in a row, which I thought was like wild, insane, right? And so then next thing you know, I'm like, I sit there, I'm like, you know what? I'm about to go out there. She was like, you're not, she's like, you're just being crazy. I'm like, nah, yeah, I'm like crazy enough to go out there. So I get up and I literally leave. I was like, I don't even care if I don't get in a VIP again. I was like, by this point, you know, Brian Mike Coxon, they left. I was just back there just making, anytime somebody came through, I was like, I'm like trying to be like all kind of like low key, like so nobody sees my wristband. So I was like, I come back and then I walk out, go straight to the front, and the 85 South is going on, and I'm like, okay, so I walked to the front and I'm like, I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I was like, what am I gonna get on stage and talk about myself? Like, you know what I'm saying? I do a little comedy, I screenwrite, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I can act, I can sing a little bit. I'm like, I don't know, but I gotta get up on the stage and like I said, make my presence known. So the guy next to me was like, yo, let me up, I'm gonna rap. And it's like, and Carlos is like, you gonna rap? And so when they get up there, he lets the guy up stage next to me. And by that point, the girl's like asking us to sit down. And so I'm like, move out of the people's way. But I'm the only person like standing up, right? And then so after the guy finished rapping, I'm like calling out, yo, let me up stage. And he's like, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, oh, freeze frame in the moment. I'm gonna sing, man. He's like, you gonna sing? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I better sing good today, because I was just like, this is my one shot up on stage. I just couldn't just say I'm gonna get up here and just talk, you know, like. So when I get up on stage, I was like, man, yeah, you know, I haven't been on stage in front of that many people where, like, you know, now mind you, I'm on stage with DC Young Fly, Chico Bean, and Carlos, you know, Miller, and I'm just like, okay, and now it's just like, all right, I'm here in the moment. I'm like, whoa, like it wasn't even like a whoa situation. For some odd reason, it just all felt like normal. So I get up there, and and they call this other girl up there. She's like, we got another singer. They called another female up there. The girl gets up there, and she straight nails it. She kills it. So I'm like, and in my head, I'm like just walking around the background. In my head, I'm like, okay, this is not going well, right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, so they're like, okay, you better sing good, man, with that beard. So I get up there, I sing John Legend, Ordinary People, and I guess I did good because everybody started cheering, right? So at first I told some jokes too. Like I want, like I said, if they watch that footage, I told a little bit of joke, got a little bit of jokes in, then I sang. They told me to come back and finish it, and I did. I finished the song, and then I immediately, I was like, now let me try getting in the VIP. Walk straight through the VIP. They were dapping me up. All the people that worked back there were dapping me up. They're like, we didn't know you were gonna get up on stage and do all that. And I was just like, there's like, you back there singing, telling jokes. I'm like, oh man, like I didn't even know, right? And so I was like, you're singing, telling jokes. I'm like, okay. So everybody was like, cool. Everybody was just like, we didn't make what they. Now I'm back in VIP, and everybody's wondering if I'm a singer. I'm like, no, that's just something. I'm like, no, I can't just sing. And they're like, why did you do that serious? I'm like, because I'm like I said, modern age Renaissance man. I can do it all, baby. Like I can just do it all. The LeBron. So speed it up, right? So I'm like, okay. So for the main part, after that, DC Young Fly, they come back there. They like dap me up and everything, and they're like, because I was back there. They're like, I'm back there. They're all anybody who's performing, it was direct contact. Like they're coming from the stage into the VIP lounge, talking with people, then going out and taking pictures and stuff, and just like connecting with media. So I'm like, I'm actually talking with them on being on stage, and I'm talking to Carlos, and like, because I'm like, I was making jokes with them, and everybody's just vibing with me, and I'm like, yo, like yesterday I wasn't doing none of this, like I wasn't doing any of this, like for the past like 8 years since I graduated high school, I couldn't imagine myself doing any of this all in one day, right? So then I leave out of there, and I'm like, okay, so they had the Be Heard finale and a thing. So right before then, I walk out. I met a young man earlier. He was like, yeah, man, I talked to Diddy. I'm like, you saw Diddy, you talked to him? So I'm like, man, next time I see Diddy, I'm stopping him and I'm talking to him. Bump as in the resume. Now I'm going to I'm just going to talk to him and see if I'm going to do my pitch, right? So I stopped. I was like, look, Diddy, I appreciate you throwing this summit. You know what I'm saying? My name is, and then now mind you, was walking. I was recording from my camera. I was like, I appreciate you throwing this summit. My name is Brandon Williams, and I will be working with you someday. Because I never say working for you one day, because I wanna be my own force where I can work with you, so I can do my own thing. Now, if I do get an opportunity to work for Diddy, all right, call me, because I'm out here. I'm listening. I'm ready. I'm waiting for the phone call. Like I'm waiting for the email back any day, anytime. So, but I just want to let you know. I know you got sons, but I'll be the next. I'll be the next Diddy. Like it'll be that. Like the next Diddy, the next Godfather. That's what I want. That's eventually what I want to call myself. All right. So next thing you know, I'm like, I saw Diddy. I say that to him. Like my name is Brandon Williams. I will be working to you. He's like, that's what's up. And then I walk away. Like I walked away because I'm like, I already got the resume to him. He's heard my name. Like I'm like, if anything, he's heard my name twice. He's seen my face twice. He heard me speak at the B. Simone thing. I don't even care to remember that. That's why I was like, I went up on stage. If he was watching the 85 South show, if any of them were watching the 85 South show, I went up on stage. I said my name. Like I just want a repetition of who I was. I was making my presence known, right? So the rest of the show goes on. I go home that night. I upload the pictures, right? I texted the guy the pictures. I followed through. Man, he didn't text me back. I wake up the next morning to get ready for day 2 of the summit, correct? I wake up the next morning and all of a sudden, the guy texts me back. He says, he was like, yo, these pictures are dope. He was like, you made one of Diddy's IG videos. And he sent me like a bunch of emojis. I'm like, huh? I'm like, dude, I was scrubbing Instagram yesterday just to find clips of the 85 South show, just to find like anything. Like I was like, he didn't follow me, and I didn't post the video that I had of me saying that to Diddy. So I was like, what is he talking about? So I get on the Instagram, Diddy's Instagram, and I'm like watching the videos, and oh my gosh, boom, right there at the end, I guess there was like cameras rolling. They had the whole clip of me stopping Diddy and saying that to him on his Instagram, and then smack, you hit with the Revolt Summit AT&T. Like it was so dramatic, and at the end, and then I'm like, I look at the views on the video, and I'm like, there's 300,000 freaking views on this video. Are you serious? And then when I get in the comments, everybody's just like speaking. That guy at the end, dude, that guy, man, I wish I had confidence like that guy. I'm over here like, the first thing I did, I'm not gonna lie, I called my mom. I called my mom. And then like, I called my mom, told her about it. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go see it. Like 10 minutes later, man, my mom commented on it and was like dropping flame emojis. When you see your 50-year-old mom dropping flame emojis on Instagram, I'm like, yo, you know what? I was like, no, I kid you not. The first thing I thought was, I guess I gotta go print those resumes. So I showed up day 2 in my square bag. I printed over 20 copies of my resume. I'm not even playing. 20 copies of my resume. Like I was walking around day 2 locked and loaded because they were offering office hours where you could sit and get 10-minute one-on-one discussions with these people that were with Revolt Media staff, with presidents of these tech companies, right? Now, mind you, I got so lucky that I was able to meet some of these people in VIP, and they would all come to meet some of the VIP, and I was able to connect with them because it did get kind of hectic with the way the times. Like they had a wait list if you didn't get it, and like I say, I do suggest getting your tickets early because it'll allow you to get that slot and to actually get that appointment. Because I unfortunately had to get on the wait list for about all of the office hours pods, so that's why I had to hustle hard because I didn't get that office hour. So I was like, how else am I going to get that one-on-one? So I had to make that happen for myself. So that's why I was printing my resume. Look, even after some of the office hours in it, I stood outside for Wonton Davis' thing, and I waited for him to come out of there. And I was like, hey, here's my resume. I didn't get the opportunity to speak with you, but here it is, right? So, I mean, that's just what I was doing. Like, I met James Brown. I met I was up. Then he told me, hey, you need to find Robin. Robin is the person you need to talk to about producing content. She's like, then he's like, or you need to find her assistant. Now, I found her. Then I realized me and her talked on the first day and connected anyway. I didn't even know that she was Robin's assistant. So, like I say, it was just like these relationships that I was building. I was connecting with people. And so that day 2, I ran into Ryan Davis. I saw Ryan Davis just walking around. I was like, I watch all his stuff on WorldStar, his thoughts and opinions, and me and him agree on a lot of stuff. And I never got the chance to tell him, so I stopped him. I told him, I was like, yo, man, I really do like some of your stuff. I really do be, agreeing and vibing. I'm not really big on like commenting and stuff like that and doing that and stuff like that in my own videos. But it's nice to meet you, man. I was like, why didn't you speak on the panel? You're really. I was like, bro, you really like figured some of this stuff out, right? He was like, they didn't really reach out to me on that stuff like that. And I was just like, so me and him, like I say, we were talking, and then he was just like, yeah. So I was like, well, you're gonna be in backstage later? He was just like, yeah, but he's like, I don't think we have the right wristbands or something. I ended up, I ended up getting him backstage. I didn't even have a VIP wristband, but I had built so many connections day 1 that I made all the right connections. I made friends with the staff. I was buying people food, I was buying the staff food, just so they remember my face, so they know, that I was coming back in and out of VIP. And like I said, I was gonna tell y'all the truth. But this is what I had to do because I thought it was more important for me to be able to get the direct contacts and get what I needed. And day 2, I got the Netflix contact. I've been trying to get on a streaming platform. I've been producing TV content, and I've been trying to get it picked up. This guy was like, hey, man, look, I'm friends with one of the marketing directors from Netflix. I'm sure he can put this in the right where it needs to be. I couldn't get that experience in the regular thing. That guy wasn't going to be hanging out in the jet thing. He bought a VIP ticket, so he was enjoying himself in VIP, where he could be relaxed around other people, other individuals like himself. So I was able to do that just by striking up conversations and just being able to build that relationship and connect, and you know what I'm saying, just being one-on-one. And one thing about me is that people love, I'm like the way I talk, people wouldn't really think that I was from Georgia. Like, I'm from Hepzibah, like I'm from the country, but I talk like, you know what I'm saying, my dialect is like, you know, bam, like. So then fast forward, I've been doing all this hustling. I've met the slutty vegan owner. I'm just like, I'm making people laugh. Like, I'm connecting with these people. So day three is was my favorite day, because day three was the day where, like I just said, I connected with so many celebrities. And Shiggy, I talked to Shiggy day two, right? I'm sitting there talking to Shiggy and making him laugh, and I was just like, you know what? I got what it takes, and that's what I wanted to prove to myself, and that's why I was like, I've always known this was inside of me, where I'm like, I have what it takes, and I have a team of my people that I've come up with that also have what it takes, like. So then I'm sitting there. Day three was my favorite day because I ran into Ryan Davis again, and he was just like, man, they're not. He was like, Killer Mike. Ryan Davis tells me, he's like, Killer Mike, man. He's like, Killer Mike, whatchamacallit, just texted me and told me to come on his trailer, but they're not letting me back there because they're like, I don't have the silver wristband. I'm like, bro, I don't need. I just straight up, I was like, bro, look, I don't even have the silver wristband. You want to get back there? I'm gonna get you back there, dude. I don't care. I'm gonna get you back there. I was like, now mind you, I already like call myself a crisis manager. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I feel like I'm the male Olivia Pope, because I just take care of problems. Like I'll just take care of the problem. So I was like, this is a problem. I'm gonna take care of it for you, right? So then next you know, Ryan, I get him back, and they're like, whoa. At first they're tripping. Then I'm like, no, look, this guy's on World Star, blah, blah, blah. Killer Mike's already waiting for him. We could do this, but let's just go ahead and solve a solution, right? I talked to him for a minute. They let him back. Now, mind you, I don't have a VIP wristband. Who am I getting? Who is little old Brandon Williams getting? You know what I'm saying? Now, only because everybody saw me on Diddy's Instagram, so that's what I'm saying. They gave me like they gave me a little bit of a points on my club credit card to get him back there. I used all of them. So then next thing he's like, yo, we're going to Killer Mike's thing, and I'm like, all right. He's like, come on, and I'm like, okay. So as soon as we get to Killer Mike's trailer, he's locked inside of his trailer, right? Now, mind you, he's locked inside of his trailer. Now I'm over here telling them that they got over here, like through the crack over there, telling them they got to pull on the latch, right? They got to pull on the latch just to get open. I didn't literally talk Killer Mike, like I didn't literally talk to the people inside there to unlock the door. They finally get the door open. Then Ryan Davis and Marvin, they're like, yo, all three of us, we go on the bus. Now, I'm on Killer Mike's trailer right before he goes and does this crazy, explosive political summit, like little talk with T.I. and Candace Owens and a few others. And I'm just like, man, I was literally on there, and I was like, and then I got put on spot because, you just can't, what am I, just going to stand there and not talk, be weird? No. I'm over here being a part of the conversation, like giving my opinion on things. And they're vibing with what I'm saying, They're vibing with what I'm saying. And I'm just like, wow, like I said, 2-3 days ago, I was in Augusta, Georgia. I was just doing regular film gigs. I was just still sitting there trying to make a way for myself. You know what I'm saying? For the last 5 years, I've been doing nothing but running all this stuff and just trying to get myself out there. Yeah, I've had, like, I didn't, like, you know what I'm saying? I could just go on and on and on. Like, I didn't even know, like, Tyler Cameron, dude, now was a Bachelorette finalist and won the show, right? I hung out with that guy. I met that guy years ago. Me and him have been friends ever since. I didn't even know that about him. But like I say, I'm going to get back on the subject because here I go rambling on again. But let me conclude this. So, just day 3, now I'm on the bus with Killer Mike and Ryan Davis And he goes out there. Everybody's chilling. We get up. Me and Ryan is like, wow, let me let you out. We go off. Ryan said, yo, get my number. I get his phone number. And I'm just like, I literally got him in there. I made these connections. That wasn't even just the only connection I got. But those are the ones that were just monumental to me. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that there's just so much cool stuff that happened at that Revolt Summit. And it was just unforgettable experience. And I got a couple of great opportunities. And I'm hoping that this leads to other opportunities as well for other people. So if you're going there, you have to hustle. You have to do it. You have to just make those connections. Because some of the people there were just scared to talk. You can't be scared to just go for it. And that's my message to people. Like, at the summit, connect with these other people that are around you. Know that these people that are here are trying to make something of themselves. So even if you don't get a chance to talk to some of these designers, why don't you connect with some of the other people around you and make a team? You know what I'm saying? Just make a team. Now, even though I got like really serious for a second, I did want to talk about some of the kind of swag that they did give out. So you got some of this Revolt, like they gave you, like look at this. They gave me a full like metal water bottle. That thing says Revolt Summit, AT&T on it, and it comes in like a little carrying case. That thing's cool. Because it was kind of hot out there, and they just wanted to keep you hydrated and stuff like that. So they had drinks that they're offering and stuff like that, and they even gave you like a sunny day stay cool kit. So you know what I'm saying? It was like the kit came with like a cool towel. Like come on, man. Like this towel is so legit. Wipe me down. That's kind of funny. But and then it's just like they had like a little mini fan, some sunscreen in there. So they got some like cool stuff there. I even got like a little stop by the Ciroc BS tent. I got like a little sample of Ciroc. So if you do drink, like they gave you like a little sample, and then like a shot glass to take home with you. So like I say, the overall experience was a great experience. It was truly unforgettable for me. It's literally set a fire. I have not really slept. So that's why it's taken me so long to get this video, because now I'm like 2 weeks into my whole 30-day restructure my whole life. Because once you're on Diddy's Instagram, and I'm like, I just read like 700 comments of people just like saying, Brandon Williams, man, that guy's next. Or I'm looking out for the guy speaking into just kings. And I'm just like, every day, what am I going to go do? I can go be the best. I could go do something and be really average at doing it, or I could actually try and go for it. And I feel like I got this spot. I feel like everything that happened at the Revolt Summit was meant to happen, and I appreciate everybody who did look out for me there, because if I wasn't able to look, I'm calling it the world's greatest finesse, because sometimes you have to have that in business. Like there's a lot of people that are talented, but a lot of people don't also have business skills, and if you don't have business skills, you can't really go far. And that's why you have to be able to get in there and nail it, because once you ask for a picture, you're always a fan. Just know that. Once you ask for a picture, you're always a fan. I don't want to be a fan. I want to be I want to be a player in the game. So, I know I got like super motivational. I might make another video. I don't know. But I'm running out of time. Shout out to Diddy. Shout out to Revolt Media. Shout out to AT&T. Shout out to Revolt Summit. Go get your tickets to this LA thing. You're going to want to go to this thing, because even if you don't get into VIP, they have so many classes and just so many opportunities and just so many, like there really wasn't even a difference in VIP regular, because you still got a chance to connect. So if you work hard and you just connect with the people around you, you will really get something out of this experience. And I really do hope that they have it again in Atlanta. And honestly, you guys better call me, because I want some passes to go to the LA Summit, all right? I got morbid. Look, I'm over here thinking, I'm like, there might be a different lineup in LA. I'm trying to make my way to the LA Summit so I can do some more networking. So watch out for me, because I might be there at the LA Summit, and that time I'm going to be bringing back up, all right? So I just want to thank you guys. My name is Brandon Williams. I'm out, all right?
Like that, VS?
Thank you for throwing this event, man.
Thank you.
My name is Brandon Williams, and I will be working with you one day.
That's what's up, baby. Love.
Promise.
Love.